What's good people? Welcome to Whole Views. Thank you for clicking that thumbnail. My name is Corey, and today we're going to be talking about The Blackening. So The Blackening was a horror comedy that was released this very weekend, and I watched it in theaters. I really enjoyed it, and I want to share with you my thoughts on what it is and why it's going to land for some people and why it won't. This movie is exactly what people say they want out of Hollywood. It has nothing to do with a pre-existing IP. It's all original, written and performed by African Americans, shot and directed by African Americans, a brand new story, and they are talking social commentary on what it means to be black. It's something that people would say, why don't they make more like this? And I'm gonna tell you why they don't make more like this is because this movie is probably not going to make a ton of money because people are gonna take their time and go see a slightly above average DC movie, The Flash. And people are gonna have their normal complaints about why they're not coming up with nothing new and why they're not rolling out any new original ideas. And here you have one right in front of you that does what it tries to do, and it does it pretty effectively, and people aren't gonna go and watch it. Now let's move on to what this movie is. I think this movie is pretty good. It's not the best thing that I've ever seen, but it has shades of brilliance, and it also has shades of just not hitting for me. I'm not gonna say that the movie isn't good though. I'm very positive on it. I laughed quite a bit because I think that was the goal of the movie. I am an African American man, and I have had instances where I identify very strongly with a lot of the ideas that the movie is throwing out in joking form. And at the same time, I have a lot of thoughts that I disagree with when it comes to the commentary on blackness and what it means to be black and all that stuff that the movie also throws out. So I'm kind of feeling both ways about it. But at the end of the day, I'm looking at a comedic horror movie. And did I laugh? Yes. Was it entertaining? Yes. So I gotta be positive on it. I thought it was good. And it was refreshing. That's probably the most important part. Refreshing, new, different from what I normally pay to go see. What this movie is not, it is not cheap. It does not give off cheap vibes at all, even though you can tell it is not the biggest budget in the world. It just doesn't feel cheap and rushed. It feels like they took care in making this thing. This is a movie that is very much informed by the culture that created it. So yes, it's very, very black. It feels very African American to watch this film. There are jokes in there that I feel as though just because I am who I am, I feel like white people shouldn't enjoy this. Like it feels so inclusively or exclusively for us. The writers and directors of this movie made it and they put it out for public consumption, so that means it is to be enjoyed by everybody. I had to get over that a little bit because a lot of this stuff feels like insiders. This is only us understands this. There were people in other theaters that really came out laughing and enjoying it and talking about how good it was, and it's like they are not of our culture, and it's just a little weird for me seeing people that are not like us getting our references and our jokes. I did want to take a good portion of this video, and then here we go with the absolute best part of the movie. This is the only spoiler that is not really a spoiler, so no plot points here, but there is something that happens a few times in the movie. There are conversations that happen without any dialogue from the characters moving their mouths. It's nonverbal communication. So story time here. I am a teacher of the last 15 years, and the student that I've been closest to over that time is the most recent graduating class. Her name is Naja Johnson. Like a friend, man. We were very, very close over the last 4 years of her high school experience. Now, I teach at a private school, majority white institution. Me, her, and maybe 2 or 3 other students from her graduating class were the only minorities in a lot of the settings. So me and Naja specifically developed a nonverbal communication that went exactly how it went in the movie. And I thought to myself, the way that it was portrayed in the film, I said, this is the most brilliant way I've ever seen this displayed. I'm going to make a bold proposition based on my own experiences as well as just movie-going audience, and the way that this is portrayed for the first time, I feel like in a black produced, black written film. People don't do that. That is for us, the nonverbal communications. And I can recall several instances over the last 4 years that it was me and Naja in a room full of other people that were not black, and someone would say something that was incredibly wild to me and Naja, and I would be head down working, and I would pick my head up and go, and she might be at my desk or at her desk, and she would pick her head up and go, and everything that needed to be said was said in those looks. And that was very exclusive to me and her. Like, we developed that. Towards the end, there was another young guy who was real close to me. You might have seen him on the channel, Danny. Danny is a minority. He is from Honduras. And his senior year, he would be included in the looks. Something wild would happen and my head would pop up like, look at Naja, look at Danny. And Danny would look at us like we all knew whatever this person said over here, that's wild. Like, it's crazy that you would say that, or you would talk about that in public, or just anything that other people are doing or saying, like a situation that they're describing. We are listening in, and we have our nonverbal conversation. And everybody in that little circle, that little triangle, me, Naja, Danny, we would all understand it. Now, I've never seen that portrayed on film, and it was captured beautifully in this film, and it was hilarious. It was one of the funniest parts of the movie in the beginning, and then I think it popped up again in the middle, and then to great comedic effect at the end. I enjoyed that part of the movie. That part alone made me say, hey, this has shades of brilliance to it, and it deserves to be watched because it is a very unique perspective on our culture. Wrapping up my thoughts, overall, the movie was pretty good. They had some predictable moments in there. Not all of the jokes hit, but it was a very good movie. It does have a very unique view of being black, and it has a lot to say about the state of blackness and colorism and the way that we kind of judge ourselves and what it means to be African American. Like, there's a lot in there going on with spades. Like, I'm one of the people who can't play spades. Don't know it. My family never did that. I'm a dominoes player. Like, I don't take no offense if somebody says, like, tries to pull your black card because you don't know how to play spades. I'm not even gonna try to learn at this point in my life. It just is what it is. You have to accept it. The stuff that they have to say is very unique, and I thought this is a very special look at what it means to be black. And yeah, I think it's worth a look just for that alone. So if you have any thoughts about the Blackening, please let me know. Share them in the comment section. We can talk about it more. That's all I have for this one, y'all. Enjoy yourself, guard your heart, and go watch something